This Sango Kaku Japanese maple is in Aptos, California, and it's early March. And we're going to prune it up, thin it out a little bit, but it has been pruned nicely for the last several years. We've worked with the owner and we've kept it in really good shape with the proper spacing and the proper control of it. So let's show you a few cuts, the important cuts that we'll be making when we prune this tree. The first is cutting off any dead wood. So we'll show you on that. See, there's dead wood right there. So we're going to cut that all the way back to the next branch. And here's a thinning cut, which we're going to make. So we're going to take, see those two crowded together? She can't even fit 2 fingers in there, barely 1 finger. And so we're going to thin out the bigger one. And she's going to make a cut on that Y and take off the left of the Y. And that'll open it up a lot more. Okay, so as we go through the tree, we'll be making those cuts, deadwood cuts, which there aren't too many, and thinning cuts, which there isn't a lot because the tree has been thinned properly each winter over the last couple of winters. And then as we go up the tree, we'll be trimming it back slightly. And those will be heading cuts, but those are really small. The problem most people make when they prune incorrectly is they make too many heading cuts and they're cutting it back like a bush. And they end up with all these different witches' brooms at the end. So we'll be thinning out with heading cuts and thinning cuts. And we'll be reducing the height of the tree. So Alexis is going to start making some deadwood cuts now. Okay, there's a piece of deadwood that came out. A little cut back. And there's one right here. Not too much, just from previous years pruning. There's one there. And there's one more down there.
Get the loppers.
Just going to get the loppers. Go in there. Clean it up. That looks pretty good. Okay, and then there's one more right up the branch. It's a short stub. Needs to come off. And she'll clean that up a little bit underneath it. Make sure your clippers are nice and sharp. That looks good. There, good job. Okay, now next she's going to make some thinning cuts. And thinning cuts are the main cuts that are made in pruning most trees. We marked it with tape. There's one thinning cut. There's going to be one down here all the way down to the crotch. Thinning cuts are made back to the previous larger branch. They're the most important cut to make to keep the tree thinned and opened up. Okay. And now she's going to make some height reducing cuts, but in that there is a thinning cut or two to make. Actually, yeah, this one's going to come off all the way down to here. We like to have several fingers between the branch spacing, as you can see here. When you start getting down to 2 fingers or less, that one's still okay spacing because we've been pruning this tree properly. Okay, here we go. Okay, so she's going to take that one off down at the next branch. That one. And then she's going to go over to here.
Oops.
Now she's going to make some heading cuts to reduce the height. Cut below the tape. And then stagger those cuts. Okay. So what we're going to do now is make all these cuts all around the tree. We got it done and didn't take us too long. We worked together. We made two major kinds of cuts, not even major. Lex is going to hold them up. So that was the thinning cuts that we made. You can see there's a few branches that are maybe up to a 1/2 inch in diameter, but no bigger than that because the tree's been pruned well the last couple winters. And then some smaller thinning, more smaller thinning cuts and some heading cuts, and you can see those are really small. Those are under an 1/8 inch, maybe 1/4 inch max. And then there's our pile down there of what we thinned out of the tree. You can see down there. And then we'll go back and take a look at the structure of it. It's nice and thinned out. It already was. Again, this was a pretty quick pruning because it's been pruned well the last 2 seasons. This is the 3rd season it's had a really nice pruning. And so there's not a lot of work and not a lot of big cuts. And there we have our coral bark, Sango Kaku, Japanese maple, ready for its beautiful flush of spring growth. Take care, guys. Bye.